Thank you for joining me today as we're going to go over the tier list of the alpha phase of Multiverses. So, for anyone that doesn't know, my name is Innovate. I made rank about 1,200 out of, I believe, 150,000 players in the alpha phase. So, I ranked pretty high. I played about 50 hours of the game. So I spent a lot of time playing the game, and the highest ranks I played were generally support, but I did test out pretty much every character as well as like dealt with them and saw how every character was kind of just like playing out and working around. So with that, let's just go ahead and start. Obviously, I will not rank uh, the bot because we do not have it in the game. Wonder Woman, I'm gonna say that she's a B tier, simply because Wonder Woman is really good, but there's some cases where she ends up feeling like she's not being able to participate. I might move her to A or B. I haven't actually done the full tier myself, but she does good in some cases. In other cases, she does end up faltering or failing simply because if the opponent has too much range, it's really hard for her to do something to like simply deal with her, right? I'm gonna put Steven Universe in A tier, and the reason I'm putting Steven Universe as A tier is because I'm thinking about it in the concept of like how you're playing against other people, how Steven Universe is currently getting played right now. I think Steven Universe has potential to end up in S tier, but because right now not a lot of people are playing him at the highest level that they can, he's very complicated and it's very difficult to execute him properly. He kind of just lands in A tier. His biggest potential is that he has the bubble that can shield, or when he's shielding, right, he can shield his allies for 3 hits and allows his teammates to end up getting confirmed kills in unsafe situations, whereas they wouldn't be able to in regular cases. And that's why I think Steven Universe is a good character, simply because of that. He's naturally able to bubble other characters, but since there's not that much knockback when you're able to bubble them, it leaves you in a situation where you kind of just are forced to target the other opponent, and sometimes that's not really what you want or care to do. Reindog, I think, is better than Steven Universe, but has very long activation abilities, and because of that, he kind of ends up in an A tier. He struggles in cases where he's getting chased down very heavily if he's not able to play from a ranged situation or doesn't have a tank with him and is forced to play with an assassin that isn't necessarily playing protective against them. He ends up struggling. I'm thinking in the sense of playing randoms on teams, right? Sometimes you can't communicate and sometimes he struggles. He is able to bring back people to him when they're very weird or tough situations, when they're on ledge and they're getting pressured. It's really good for him that he's able to like grab onto his ally and pull them in. The rough situation, right, is that sometimes that can work against them, both him and the ally. But does a lot of damage, really, really good damage, but struggles simply in the ability, right, of just being able to confirm kill. Next is going to be Velma. Velma is the best support right now. We're going through the supports. Velma's the best support right now simply because she has the range and doesn't struggle with the activation situation that Reindog does. She can buff allies. She is able to have, she does as well have a similar playstyle to Reindog of running away, keeping her distance, and then playing from there. But because she's able to activate her abilities a lot quicker and is able to simply play around her teammate a lot more easily, she just does better and slightly better than Reindog in some cases, but that slightly I think is enough for her to be better than Reindog. So if you think about Reindog and Velma fighting against each other, you usually will see that Velma is going to perform better in that game specifically, and because of that, I put Velma in S tier. Oh, the bunny. Bugs Bunny is easily an S tier character. No, I actually didn't play against that many good Bugs Bunnies, but I can assure you that Bugs Bunny's pressure himself is so good that you can turn off your brain, throw out your abilities, and because they have such huge hitboxes, they're massive. The rocket that you're able to throw out, massive. The box that you're able to put into the ground and then knock it up through the hole that you're able to set up, massive. You just have so much utility and such uh, ability to apply so much pressure with simply pressing buttons. And the CD of the rocket isn't long necessarily. And the rocket, I think, has the high kills, right? But it also isn't dependent on those things, right? It's not just Bugs Bunny isn't just dependent on his abilities, but he's also really good when it comes to his neutral or his attack moves. His up air is incredibly good and is really easy to land. It's basically a Harley Quinn up special, but just in itself, incredibly good and super valuable. Bugs Bunny is easily an S tier character. We're gonna think of Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry still has a learning curve, and Tom and Jerry will be an A tier. He's very frustrating to deal with, but if you have played him or them in this case, right? If you've played Tom and Jerry, you will tell that his up air and down air are really good, but a lot of his moves do not confirm into kills. They don't have much knockback even. I believe his his floor up attack is able to hit and lands really easily, but does no knockback. So puts you in situations where you're just able to keep hitting your opponent, but you're not able to confirm. Plus the fact that Jerry has such a low health and that can be killed very easily. When your ally's not really playing with you with the Jerry, and you have to be running around and trying to catch back to your Jerry, or when you're trying to throw out tennis balls, and it's just very complicated and it's very difficult. And for that reason, I think Tom and Jerry hits the A tier, but not enough people have mastered Tom and Jerry. I think he's a very high skill cap character, but it's very easy to introduce yourself into Tom and Jerry with all these characters even, right? But it's very difficult to really set yourself in a situation where I know everything of how I'm going to play this character. Hey, like this video and want me to make more videos for you? Make sure to drop a like. It really helps the algorithm and makes my videos get recommended more often. Thank you. Arya, I think, is a C tier character, but I think my friend played a lot of Arya, and that's why I think she falls into C tier, because all I would really hear is complaining, and the moment he would play another character, he would realize, like, wow, Arya's just really, like, bad. And it's not that Arya can't perform a lot of cool looking moves. The thing is that she doesn't really have a lot of pushback, or knockback, right? And because of that, you're forced into a lot of situations where you yourself as Arya have to go commit yourself and get that kill. Naturally, there's going to be a lot of top players that can perform and make Arya look really good, and, you know, make her look like she's an incredibly good character. But as of right now, I think she's just really lacking and has to simply get like a few buffs or have like at least a knock up ability or knockback ability that makes it feel like she has more potential. So Finn, easily the most frustrating character to play against. Finn is too heavy right now to be an assassin and can burst you like an assassin. Because of that, Finn is incredibly good. If you want to play any character and feel like you're simply on top of the world and assisting your ally, Finn is really good at that because he's able to purchase things. If you simply put Finn with any support, or Finn simply with a bruiser or with a tank, he does really well because he's able to keep buying these items from his shop. And if he can't die constantly, like you're running into games where Finn lives over, like, you know, it's 150, right? And it's very frustrating because you want to catch up to him as well, and you want to punish him, but because he has so much mobility, because people tend to keep buying boots on him, it's incredibly difficult. You cannot catch up to him, and you just put yourself in a situation where even if you're not killing him, even if you're ignoring him, even if he's running circles on you, right, you can't really pressure his ally because his ally has all the buffs that he has, right? So it makes it incredibly difficult to deal with and incredibly tedious. Finn is easily frustrating to play against, really easy to pick up as well, and he has a lot of utility. I think his biggest, my opinion, I think if you were to nerf Finn, it wouldn't necessarily remove anything from his KO, which I originally thought. I think just bringing him to a lower weight class would be better. I noticed that when you try to focus Arya, as an example, you can kill her rather easily, but when you focus Finn, that never really feels like the case. Harley Quinn is a good character. I think Harley Quinn is an A tier character. She's really good, but it's one of those situations where if you ask me, like, hey, should I play Finn or should I play Harley? I would usually recommend you Finn simply because he's a lot more easy and kind of just does everything. Or you can just easily pick up Bugs Bunny. Because Harley Quinn is a good character, but because Bugs Bunny and Finn are able to do things that she can, right, but better, I would recommend those characters. Harley kind of has a little bit of that mage and assassin, mostly assassin, right, where she's able to throw out these mines, tag them onto an opponent, and then explode them. That gives it kind of like a mage kind of ideal, as well as like the confetti. It's really the confetti burn, right? And you're kind of thinking, why not just play Bugs Bunny? And that's really what I would recommend you to do. Batman could be a B tier, a low B tier, or a C tier character. He struggles heavily because of his kit, because he has a grappling hook that is incredibly predictable. I think it's very difficult for him to feel like he has a lot of value. The grappling hook is really good when it comes to getting back on stage, but it's also really bad because it's very predictable. So if someone's paying attention to you grappling onto the wall as you're trying to get back on stage, it's very easy to punish you. Even if you're doing the slow fall, I think it's very easy to punish Batman because a lot of characters have a lot of jumps, a lot of dashes, right? And if you're playing against a character like that, you're just gonna struggle and you're gonna run into tough situations. And because of that, I think he's a B tier. Another Bruiser, Garnet is also a B tier, but not necessarily because I feel like she's worse than Batman. I actually think she's a little bit better than both of these, but she's just not killing enough. And because of that, I think she sometimes struggles to finish off opponents aerially. She has really good attack movements on floor, right? But because her aerial movements aren't that good, she kind of falls behind to a lot of characters. Because this game heavily relies on playing aerially, I think that's why Garnet struggles. If she were given better damage or better kill options when it comes to aerial movements, but I doubt it simply because I feel like she is built to be a character that's supposed to be played on ground. But this game, as of right now, the meta is not meant to be played on ground. It's meant to be played a lot aerially since we have so much. So we have two jumps, we have two dodges, and we have two specials, right? For that reason, I think Garnet kind of struggles because she wants to play on the floor, but a lot of characters are already playing in the air. And for that reason, I think Garnet simply cannot catch up or simply affect the stage as much as the other characters can. Shaggy is probably my S tier bruiser, but I think he's probably in the lower end of the S tier, but I think he's very annoying for the reason that his specials or when he's charged up, he's armored. If you were able to punish when he's charged up, he wouldn't be as good. But because when he throws out a forward special when he's charged up, Super Saiyan Shaggy, right? He does so much pressure. He's on the corner of the stage. He's able to throw it out, and it's really easy to punish because you can't hit him in any case once he's activated it. And his side special simply on corners of stages is so oppressive and even spammable in a lot of cases. His sandwich is decently good, and he's able to help him out as well with certain projectiles, such as the Batarang as an example, right? He's able to throw it out, but if you were to compare Batman versus Shaggy, right, Shaggy tends to win a lot more, right, because he doesn't have the grappling hook, whereas he has an armored side special when he's charged up. When he isn't charged up, right, he still has a lot of pressure, and he's still able to combo people in a lot of cases and very easy combos. Jake, I would say, is a high A tier character, simply because he has so much frustrating things about him. His aerial forward attack is incredibly frustrating to play against, and it's frustrating to play against because it's safe. It's incredibly safe to just throw out your extended arm and know that your character model is in a safe position and you're not really taking a lot of risk. His down special in air is able to put himself into like a car or boat or whatever, right? But it can reflect objects or projectiles, right? So it's really good against mages, and he tends. I don't feel like I'll play it against a lot of people that would play with it or for it, but it is really, really good, and people are being able to take advantage of that. Tasmanian is also really good, slightly better. Might be I would say about the same as Jake. They're really, really close to each other. Tasmanian is really good. A lot of people really did struggle with him, and myself included in the beginning. But because once you catch up to the game, once you kind of figure it out, when you even 1v1 Tasmanian, you realize he's not that oppressive. He just does really good in teams because it's very difficult to catch up to him or hit him when a lot of these cooldowns are active on him. And for that reason, I think Tasmanian is very beatable, and it's very easy to find opportunities to punish him with. Certain characters do incredibly poorly against him, and that's why, for example, Wonder Woman would be ranked under him, because she herself cannot catch up or deal with Taz, and simply struggles a lot to like catch up or like punish. Superman is another A tier character. I would say, oh my goodness, probably worse than Steven. I think Tom and Jerry is better. Tasmania. A lot of these characters are very close into skill or how high or how capable they are. If I had A plus, it probably would have been better. But if I were to say, like, if I had an A plus and if I had a B, simply adding a row, because Superman would have been a little too high. I think Superman struggles when he's getting hit a lot, and for that reason, I think he's an A tier. I would say Steven also A plus. I would keep all these characters. Superman struggles to get and consistently stay in. He's armored. He does have that advantage. But compared to him and Shaggy, Shaggy practically does everything that Superman would be able to do, but better, right? So because of that, Superman sometimes gets pressured very, very easily. And I think a lot of people are currently not using his ice breath as effectively as I would want them to. But that's mostly because he requires kind of a support to play with him to really take advantage of those, or having the ice perk on them activated. For that reason, I think Superman kind of dwindles a little bit, but that would be my overall tier list. I completely understand if you disagree or agree. I think a lot of these, the A and up characters are very close together, but I feel like the B characters, Wonder Woman could also be a little bit better, but she does, like I said, she struggles against a lot of characters. She, for example, struggles against Reindog, and I would say struggles against Steven Universe, Jake, Tasmanian, right? And because of that, I think Wonder Woman's in a good spot, but her kid herself, or the characters and the meta that she has to play against, is very difficult. And I think that's why she struggles, not necessarily because she's built poorly, but because of the characters that are currently being played and the meta of what it currently is. And for that reason, I put Wonder Woman in the B. I would kind of want to move her up, but the more I think about it, the more I feel like she's okay in B tier. She might go up higher, based on the meta or based on how characters go up or down, right? But as of right now, I think Wonder Woman's decent. She does really good again with certain characters and performs even better. But with other characters, she tends to fall off or not be as useful. Let's say for ranged characters, you're just not getting as much of a benefit with her. I think she really does better with characters that engage a lot or depend on being very aggressive, that she's able to play with. But that's my kid. That's my overall tier list. If you disagree or agree with me, I totally understand. This is my opinion, and this is where I kind of rank all the characters based on how I played them and how I played against them. This is for teams. Thank you for watching.